welcome to this week's episode of Navigating the Waters. And this week's a little different. We decided that what we would do is take a look back over some of the previous episodes and really pull out some of the highlights to reinvigorate the conversations. And we've had some great feedback from people about the various topics that we've been discussing on Navigating the Waters and how we're helping to demystify the jargon and make the investing world more accessible for all. One of the key things that Stephanie talks to us about in almost every episode is the power of relationships, how important it is that we are creating a lasting relationship with the people that we work with and the people that are investing in us. And throughout the series, there's been a number of key points where she's really pulled out why that's important to us. Let's look back at one of the first ones.
Yes, I think it is very important to not only kindle and grow your relationship, but a lot of people don't know where to look. So there are many websites that you can put your product, your company out there. Like Crunchbase is a good one where you can put the bones of your company and showcase that. And then people will react to it or say, hey, I like your product, want to talk. And then following up with them is a huge part. It's emailing them, hey, I saw you on Crunchbase or whatever XYZ website that I'm on. I would love to connect with a meeting. And then in that meeting, I think being transparent is one of the most important things that you can be when you're presenting yourself and your company. Being honest with how your failures, with your success, being able to be open and say, hey, this is what we need help with. We need, this is how we're doing. This is what we're doing. Maybe not in the first meeting, but once you get to know that person a lot well, and then talking to them through your company.
I love that because you're really trying to engage them and involve them in your story, aren't you? I mean, you've talked a lot over these shows and over your blogs about the importance of the story of, because would I be right in saying what we're really trying to do with a potential investor is get them to see how they could play a part in that story, the character that they would be and how they foresee bringing that character to life. So the more we can, I guess, talk to them like that, get them to picture themselves in there, the easier it is for them to picture themselves in there and then make those steps. Would that be fair?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you're building the character, and in a book or in a movie, you do the background and the storyline. You tell them what you're doing, you show them your company, and then seeing how they fit. And if they're a good fit, if your values line up, if you believe in what they're doing as well, because they may say, oh, well, we believe in this eco-friendly, but we're also in the oil business. Making sure that you do your due diligence on the partner, on the potential investor is going to be crucial because that's going to represent your relationship in the future. Were they transparent? Were they upfront and telling you what they were doing? And is that a good fit for both of you?
I love that. That's such great advice because often when I talk to people, they're very much prepared for what they're going to say, what they want, but they haven't done very much, if any, research on the other person. And we know one of the most important ways to build a relationship is to be interested in their story, in what they do, in what they bring, because if not, it may come across like all you really want is a check, and that's not going to be a great place to start, is it?
Right, exactly. It's not a good place to start. So being transparent is what I think one of the crucial factors in a growing relationship is having that honesty, having that communication with your investors, doing your own due diligence on them to make sure that they're going to be not only an investor, but invested in your company.
That is a great point because you want them to be invested, don't you? You want them to want it to be a success. And I know when they give you their money, they do want it to be a success. But if they're invested in it, they're invested in helping you be the best, in opening those doors, in finding you the skills and support to augment the areas where maybe you haven't got them in the abundance that you need. Because for most of us as business owners, we don't come equipped with every single skill that's needed. We've got something that we're really, really good at. And that's what we set our business up for. That's what we're passionate about. And then we either have to learn these other things, or we have to find people that know how to do those, that are willing to come and be part of the team, that are going to show us the way. And I guess if we get comfortable understanding that, being clear on what that is, and having the confidence to say, here's where I'm really good, here's where I shine, but here's the area where actually I could do with some support because it's not one of my key skills.
Exactly. And having that confidence to ask for help, like you said, is important. And knowing where your strengths lie, knowing where you may need a little bit more help, and being humble about it and saying, I understand that this is my area, but marketing isn't. Do you have anyone that can help with marketing? And knowing your strengths and weaknesses, your company's strengths and weaknesses, and how that partnership can help grow that company and build that armor around your company so it is bulletproof.
Amazing. Always such great insight what Stephanie shares with us, but she's so right that we are looking at building lasting relationships that are going to help us to not just grow the business, but to thrive in our future. So taking that time to do the due diligence, to learn about the people that you're going to go and ask for investment, checking out how what you're doing is going to fit in with them, what's important to them and what their value set is a crucial step. And putting in the effort to do the same amount of research on them that I guarantee they're going to be doing on you is going to help you start that relationship in the right way. And we know that getting the right relationships around us are one of the key elements of success. We saw more of that when we were joined by Randy Tate, and he shared with us his pitch deck and his thoughts on investment and the journey. Here's what he had to say about relationship.
That is the $1 billion rub, and I'm trying to be from the flip side of the world. I'm really trying to find the right partner to invest with us. I am picky about it, maybe to a fault. I don't always like the energy of the people I speak with, and that's maybe a detriment of mine. But I'm not just looking to get someone in my ear that doesn't think like I think. Then I'm distracted and can't work.
Yeah, you want their values to line up, and you don't want them to just be someone who tells you what to do, or they want them to make the company successful without, stomping and throwing it and dragging it a certain way.
Yep, exactly. And I've got a vision for where I want it to go, and we're going to find a way to get it there. I'm excited about what we've got in the future. I've got lots of people that are interested, and it's, and then the valuation is the other conversation you got to have at some point. But that works itself out just fine.
Right.
I mean, I can literally mathematically, I can show you our valuation anywhere from 18 to 60 million.
Yeah.
Depending on what formula you want to use. What do you want to use? You want to use just revenue? You want to use tech? You want to use discounted future cash flows? What big a discount do you want on them? How much is this worth? I mean, it's a terrible process.
Oh yes, it's a headache talking about it. Sometimes you're like, it's there, the math's there. You just have to understand. And they're like, well, we don't. And it's hard to really navigating the waters, just trying to break it down, to dilute it to its core,
Yeah.
so people understand, convertible instruments, valuation, how to do their pitch deck, how to present their pitch deck, how to answer questions. And also, I think you touched on it a lot, is how to make sure that your investors value what you value, what you want in your company to happen. And to everyone listening, if someone has a check, but they don't have your interests at heart, that check's not worth it.
Don't take it.
Yeah. Yeah. Take your company somewhere else and keep doing it. Keep finding the investors that are going to want to not just invest in you, but invest in the relationship. And River's slogan has come out to be, we're more of a transformational relationship rather than a transactional one. because we really want to grow with you. We want not just you to be successful for our return on investment, our ROI. We want to be successful because of who you are and what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I think that's what you definitely presented in your pitch deck, was your passion and your why behind why you created iFlip.
Thank you. It worked then. Yeah.
I love that. Randy's always got such great passion and drive around his business, and that is key for all of us. Investors aren't just looking for the product, they're looking at us, they're looking at whether or not we've got what it takes to make that idea successful. Have we got the passion, the drive, the skills, and the enthusiasm to make it through the tough times, to keep going when those challenges seem insurmountable, and to be so driven by purpose, by why we're doing it, by who we're serving, that we are compelled to just keep going. And as he so eloquently put, if they don't feel like the right fit, if your values don't align, don't take the check. Trust that the right investor is out there for you, because getting in with the wrong investors isn't good for you and it isn't good for them. You're going to end up with huge amounts of conflict and challenge at a time when really you should be pushing through the opportunities and driving your business forward. And passion and purpose were something that Ayu so eloquently talked about as his drivers. And again, that desire for relationship, the ability to really connect with people and to use that connection to really drive the business forward. Let's hear what he had to say.
Very importantly, I was looking for the best way I could leverage on one of the powerful skills I have, which is relationship. Relationship and business. I'm very good with relationships. So I discovered one of the key factors to having a very strong fund is relationship. That's not just a relationship with investors, relationship with the founders, yeah, and with a very strong skill I have of spotting talent and spotting solutions. Yeah, I'm very good with spotting talents, and what we do as Squid is not just supporting products, but making sure we can support with strategic hires, and because we believe the product can a stronger team or a better team can give the greatest product ever. So creating the best thing is the key to having the best products, because the goal of a company is not just creating one solution. Create a solution, expand the solution, create more solutions, and that's what just the best team can do. So expressing my interest or showing my skills of relationship and spotting talent, spotting solutions was what caught my interest with Squid in particular.
That's incredible. And having that ability to form that relationship, not, like you said, not just with the founder, but with other investors, is crucial throughout the globe. It's important to everyone to make sure that you build on that relationship, that you're mentoring, that you're seeding that relationship. How many startups come across your plate on a day-to-day basis?
Okay, that's a very strong question. Minimum of 10, minimum of 10. Let me say, okay, on average, 5 to 10, or let me say 7 to 10. 7 to 10 sounds like, yeah, a better average. 7 to 10, and I'm sure this is a very big number. At the same time, it's small number. Small number in looking at like the number of startups we have here, but a big number looking at how how early we just got into the VC space. So that's quite encouraging. But something that excites me is, and something that keeps me going amongst all of the numbers, is just the solutions being provided through the decks. That means every deck is just that's a solution that solves a lot of problem here. So that's something that excites me even from the numbers.
Amazing. And you've talked up throughout of the importance of relationships. And I know, Stephanie, that's something that you tell us about a lot on this show, which is, that's what we're in the business of doing, isn't it? Is building those relationships, either, as you so eloquently put, with the founders, with the investors, with the team, so that they're really starting that relationship as they mean to go on. And the work that you're doing with that pitch deck and making sure that they're articulating their story is all part of that relationship build, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So what advice would you give to somebody who's in a startup now that's getting ready to look for pre-seed? You know, what kind of things should they be bearing in mind or getting information about to ensure that they're ready to take that first step?
Okay. So first, the first on my list is getting your idea right. So starting a business or commencing on a startup project sometimes can be overwhelming. You may get the idea right, but structuring the idea could take a lot of time. So we've seen a couple of startups come with unstructured idea, but because of an early stage VC, um, those kind of excesses are welcomed. But when you begin to scale up or try to reach out to more VCs, you discover that those excesses won't be allowed anymore. So, I mean, first is getting your idea right, structuring your team. The idea is important than even the team because what you get as a refined idea is what you communicate to your team before you now commence on research. That's if you are looking to raise funding or raise seeds and all, you must be ready to commence on very intense research on how your deck should look like, your product, even research on your investors, research on their interests, research on the deck, research on the numbers your investors want to see, research on the numbers your startup should be saying because um, numbers and health tech, health tech startup should say is different from numbers the clean tech startup should say. And there's a lot of information on the internet, so you need to be very, very careful of which you are picking and adapting to your deck or adapting to any communication your startup stands for.
Yeah, definitely. We've talked about that a lot, is doing your research on what you need, what people want to see, and then the person itself. Maybe you try to pitch to someone who doesn't invest in tech startups, and you didn't do your own research and you're wasting your time and their time. So finding that cohesion between who your future partners are going to be is really important. And I like what you said, build out your idea. Build out your idea. So we've talked about it a lot. So you can pitch to anybody. So you can talk about it to anybody in any setting and be able to build out your team. I like that part where you said, it's about the team that's surrounding that idea that is also very important. So getting those ready and getting your research out there is a great advice to give to first-time founders.
I love that. Great advice from both Stephanie and Ayu. When we think about it, sometimes we can overcomplicate the world. We look at things and we give them a label and we make that a challenge. We talk about the fact we've got investors, well, they're people. We've got our team, they're people. We've got our customers, also people. And we've got suppliers and business partners, all of them are people. So when it comes down to it, the thing we need to get really good at is people. And that's all about building relationships, being really clear on what our values are, what our purpose is, what our drivers are, so that we can go and attract the people that have got a passion for our purpose, to quote Ayu, that are aligned to our value set, and to quote Randy, that believe in what we're trying to do and want to be part of it. They want to be in that energy. So when we think about what we're trying to achieve, really having a plan of how we're going to build those relationships. Why is it that they would want to do business with us, either as an investor, as a customer, or as a team member? What is it that's going to be in it for them? How does it align to what they're working on and what their purpose is? And also, what is it that we're looking for? As Stephanie mentioned in one of those earlier episodes that we played just shortly, it's really thinking about how we ensure that we are being transparent about the help that we need, about the skills that we've got, and about what we've learned from any mistakes that we've got on along the way. It's about being honest about what it is that we want from the relationship, and to be curious about what it is that they want from the relationship. So we're going into it with our eyes open, and we're forming that lasting relationship that is going to support us, them, and the business to achieve its goals. I hope you found today's look back useful. And if you're a founder or an investor and you would like to share your story here on Navigating the Waters to help us to continue to demystify the jargon and to simplify the world of investment, we would love to hear from you. Please do like, share, and comment. If you've got something you'd like us to be able to explain in more detail, just drop us a note. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, thank you.